2 video basically, because last time we did a video on that and just, you know, I forgot the questions, but yeah, moved on. Well, yeah, how do you guys see failure now that, you know, since the last video, like what's happening? I'm failing.
Lo's feeling it, but anyway, because he knows, like, you at this age and you're already thinking about shit. Like my mom or my dad
at this age
they already, like, they complaining about things that didn't happen for them, parts of their lives that didn't, like, you obviously envision your life going a certain way, that shit doesn't happen. Like for now, closer to 30 than I was 20, than I'm 20, so it's like there's things that are kind of envisioned and they're not really where they are, but like now you need to reconcile that thought and like carry on and have the courage to carry on, because it takes a lot of courage to be like sitting in the position you're in, but also reinforce to yourself about, okay, it's fine, this isn't only for a certain time, I can do this, let me do, like, sometimes like just the thought itself, and it stunts you, like, and most times, so that's, I really haven't moved on from that thought. Like, I think it's since the last video, it's stuck with me, like, throughout my 20s. I think it's gonna stick with me throughout my 20s. So that's
for me. Yeah, guys, I feel like every day is like I'm anxious, because I feel like every day I could fail, and you know, I'm probably exaggerating, but I think maybe where I am right now is just I don't feel that okayness to fail anymore. I mean, I was like, you know, if I fail, it's okay. And that had gotten me, you know, through, but it's not really happening at the moment. So I'm anxious all the time about potential failure, especially at work, you know, because that could be what sticks forever. That, yo, she once did this and, you know, she never bounced back from it. Because, I mean, at the moment, work is basically my life. I'm not studying yet. I'm going back next year. And so right now work is my life, and just kind of trying to establish myself at work and, you know, make a mark. I don't even know if that's possible
name for yourself
in this capitalist society that we live in. But yeah, I feel like every day is just I'm anxious, because I feel like, you know, I could fail at any point, and it's not nice, I have to say. But, you know, I fake it until I make it. That's the only way to go about it. I think that's the only way to adult. From what I've been observing from other adults, you just fake it. So yeah, like it's every day feels like at any point I could fail, and I could fail dismally, and it could, you know, mess me up for a very long time. So, you know, when you're going around with that thought, it is quite a lot, but, you know, we try.
so man.
Yo. My heart started beating faster. I'm mad anxious right now. It's because everything that you do now seems to have a greater sense of permanence than earlier on. I'm very jovial, very playful, and earlier on, like 19, 20, 21, felt great in the sense that more than having the space to fail, I had the time to fail.
Yeah.
And I never bargained for life's own, like, daggers. So you always count on your own capacity, that I know I can do this, but you always account for your current situation and never, like, think what else could happen. And then when new things develop or circumstances change, that failure feels far more permanent. It's a sense of a constant fall, because earlier on, like, if you fail a module in first year, it's like, okay, this is rock bottom, I can get back up and then repeat the module, move forward. But then when you're older, you're out of school, everything that you do is now part of your profile. And that stays with you into your late life. And the fear is that you, instead of moving on, you keep that and hold on to your failure in your 20s, and instead of moving on later on in life, you keep that failure in your 20s, and that's what defines who you are. And that escape, the possibility of escape, seems harder and harder every day, and yeah, it's just
it's dribbling.
Yeah. But the aim is to remind yourself that there is time and that life is long, and that I have gotten into the habit of sirens. Sirens. Like, you can look around at the people who are going through things and find that they are later on in life, yet they've achieved things and they've still like managed to move through everything. So yeah, like the trick is to keep moving, fail forward. Even if you're on your knees, even if you're bleeding and you're down, scratch forward. You will always find something. You'll always find a way.
There's been a lot of failings since the last time, you know. But like, I think for me, like I said the last time, that you just have to keep on keeping on, you know. And I think I was saying this to Randa the other time, that even though you doing what you can, you know, with the situation, and you are trusting the process that eventually things are gonna work out, it does not stop it from being stressful. The process that is, like, sometimes you go on China and you're like, I mean, you're trusting what you're doing, you know that it's gonna pay off eventually, but man, some days you cry about it, you know. So it's very hard being patient. It's very hard telling yourself when shit is going wrong that, you know what, actually it's gonna be okay, and believing that it's gonna be okay. It's hard, but you know, you have to do it. You have to do it.
So Umisha actually mentioned something about writing. Literally the first time I actually wrote was when I was chilling here. So let me just, what I would jot it down. Basically, it's like, since the last time, it's literally been battling through failure after failure, and just literally waking up and hoping that, you know, you'll survive and that you'll walk out of it unscathed. And obviously the older you get, it's almost like a failure multiplier. The older you get, the more it just intensifies your failures. And that probably makes you more anxious, and it's a whole cycle that it just becomes so difficult, and you just ask yourself constantly, how the fuck did I get myself into this pool of shit? Sorry for the French. Also, it seems like when it's so tough, when life is so tough, it's almost like any small accomplishment. If it's not that one thing or those things that you actually want to, you know, those things that you want, if it's not those, it's almost like, yeah, sure, great, but it's still not that. And it's like, you know, and every day you literally have to psych yourself up to be like, yo, let's wake up, let's go to work, let's do this. And it's difficult. It's very demobilizing, but we have to push on.
Keep on keeping on. Yeah, man, but from my side, wow. This has just made me realize that there's still a lot of things that I need to still sort out for myself. And basically my best mechanism to deal with failure is always to pull away. And I learned that is good because people feed off your energy. So when you're in a room full of people and you're always giving off bad, negative energies and that kind of thing, that drags others down. So when it comes to me and dealing with failure, I just tend to pull away, keep to myself, try and see what I can do to fix myself. But within fixing myself, I always find myself then reaching out to certain individuals whom I know understand me and know where I come from, what I've been through and that kind of thing. And that's been my process of dealing with failure in the last year. Moving to Joburg from PE, different city, different vibe, and literally falling face first on arrival and failing at everything I tried. I slumped, and the only way I managed to get out of that was to kind of just detach and focus on myself, try to find what my purpose is and why I am where I am and why all these things are happening and where to from here. And it's a very tough process because you don't really feel confident enough to talk to other people around you about that because, one, you fear judgment, and that's just basic, human nature. And you also don't want them to to kind of identify with whatever it is that you have or what you're going through, because then that's going to pull them down from where they are. So I just always, first mechanism is to pull away, try and figure out what it is that has me where I am, and then from there try to rectify that one thing and move on to the next, because there's a lot that, you know, we fail at on a daily basis, and it's just a process that you just try and get better and better at being you each day and not try to mimic the other person, because I stopped reading all these self-help things, motivational things, because for lack of a better word to use, fuck it, man, that's not my life, it's someone else's life and their reality. And
a lot of September, boy.
You said it. But yeah, guys, literally, to me, it's just basically a focus on yourself and try and identify the things that are going wrong. Try to locate where they started, why, and then start from there. Always helps.
Hi guys.
I'm triggered. Yeah, I'm going. But yeah, on failure, I feel like at the age where I am now, I don't remember a time where I wasn't failing. Do you know what I mean? So for every good thing that happened, for every one good thing that happened, there'd be maybe 5 things that I consider failures. So it kind of like, it clouds your life. Like those are the standards by which you judge yourself, because you're like, okay, if I do this, then I know this is gonna happen, and it's like, it's no way to live. But I feel like now I'm in a better place, because I don't know how it happened, but I could say it happened overnight, in the sense that I chose one day to be like, my sister, you don't have the luxury to just sit back and watch things happen to you. You have to fight. Like now you fight for your life. Like you fight for your life. So I think I've dealt with that in the small things that I do for myself. Because now I run. I'm a skinny legend if you'd like to take a closer look. But it really is the little things, like the little things that I thought I wouldn't do or I couldn't do because I was like depressed or whatever, going through a lot. Those are the things that I've started doing for myself now that make it easier for me to deal with failures, so to speak. So now it's easier for me to motivate myself and be like, you can do this, and I actually do it. So I feel like yeah, man, it happens, guys. We are young, but we're not that young anymore. So when you do fail, I feel like it's important that you be kind to yourself and you forgive yourself. That's one thing that I've taught myself. Yeah, exactly. You really need to forgive yourself, because at the end of the day, then what are you doing then? How are you gonna move on? So that's how personally I've dealt with it. I've decided that, you know what, it happened, and once I've forgiven myself, it's easier for me not to repeat the same thing, because then I can reprimand myself and be like, see, you're going back to where you were. So I think I've dealt with failure better. Now I'm in a better place. Like in all aspects of my life, I feel like I'm in a good place.
Yeah, it's cool.
So yeah.
So for me, it's like it's kind of like tied to what the other Monobisi was saying, where you feel like when it comes to failure, he's saying he pulls away from people. I feel like I pull away from myself and all the habits and who I am as I know myself to be, because I'm so disappointed by that failure and I can't believe that I actually did this. So I kind of like change the way that I am and the way that I move in the world, and you kind of like become a shadow of who you are, because you can't process that, oh my gosh, this is my fault, like I'm here because of myself, I did this, there's no one else to blame. So you're so disappointed in yourself that you literally pull away, and you stop being that person who fights for yourself, you stop being that person who wakes up every morning to give yourself a chance. And I feel that like the last few months I've been going back to who I was. Like being back in school helped, having a job helped, because then I could not be there for myself, and being able to do that really helps me deal with failure, and it helps me cope, because then I can identify that, okay, these are the feelings I have when I know that something's going to go wrong. Of course, I'm still failing myself in terms of dealing with my procrastination and how self-sabotage because of it, but at least I'm getting there, I'm doing things. Because there was a time where I would procrastinate and things wouldn't happen, and I would leave it, and then I feel ashamed because, oh my gosh, I've actually failed myself, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, I didn't do what I promised myself I would do. But now, even though I'm still procrastinating, I'm getting things done and I'm doing them to the best of my ability in terms of like the time frame I have because I procrastinated. But I'm showing up for myself, and that's how I'm dealing with my failure after being away for so long.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes when you are in a situation, you know what you need to do to get out, but you're so consumed in it that you can't. Like, it seems so impossible. Like, what?
Sometimes you're scared though. You're scared to
try something and then fail again, and now you're stuck with 2 failures.
Yeah, fear.
Yeah, so it's just like suffocating in a way that you just forget. You're just living. So you're just like, I have to get up, I have to go to work, I have to come back, I have to cook and sleep so I can wake up and go to work the next day. So it's like just constant failures, and then you're just like, so why and how did it happen? Because I like to know why things happened, but I realized that the why doesn't help, because the end goal, which is to get out of it, is what I need to focus on, not the why, because sometimes you can just sit there and dwell in how and why things happened, and then you're not getting real answers. You're just sitting, and then that makes you go even more. So yeah, so it can just become a downward spiral. So yeah.
And how are you dealing with failure now? Like, what's happening? How do you do it?
One bit, day by day.
Yeah.
I feel
getting out of bed.
Yeah,
it's the battle.
That is like, yeah.
Waking up is so difficult because the start of a day can be so triggering.
Yeah.
Like it can be starting the day and leaving the house is one of the most difficult things to do, because you need to face people, you need to face the tasks that you have to complete, and having those deadlines in front of you. So just doing things bit by bit, being proud of yourself for getting out of the bed, being proud of yourself for showering, getting to work, being productive at work, like bit by bit, just
small victories. That's how you do
celebrate those and let them mean something. Because as Wakon was saying, when you know you're failing in one area, everything else that you do well, you feel like it's nothing because that big failure is eating at you. So I think one needs to, for the time that they cannot tackle that failure head on, those little soldiers that you're dealing with before you get to the big boss, appreciate like every single one that you kill, because otherwise, you was a goer.
Yeah. But like Lwando said, like it does take a lot of courage. That's for the most part the important thing, like courage to show up for yourself, courage to say you can do it, courage to wake up in the morning. It takes courage.
To think back then when we used to read that shit, when people would be like that motivational
you
nonsense.
thought it was corny,
like this bullshit.
It
now it's like
it works. So yeah,
some of it.
Yeah.
Because the other stuff is like, if you're a rich white person.
Yeah, if you're a rich white person, exactly.
But don't beat yourself up, guys. About your
be kinder.
Yeah.
Be kinder
to yourself and other people.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. Yeah. Be kind to others. Don't like be shitty to others just because you're a goer. It's not gonna stop your goal. Like wanting others to feel the feelings you're feeling instead of dealing with those feelings.
It's not gonna go some more.
So deal with your feelings and don't project them onto others.
Okay, I agree with everything you said, but for me personally, like I don't fail. Not because I'm great, but I don't try new things because I'm realizing that like before university, I never had to try anything or start new things. It was always just there. You just do things and everything's right there for you. Everything's provided for you. And then now you have to go out there and fight for yourself and get things yourself and be an individual and be an adult. And it's freaking me out so much that I don't want to do it because I don't know what's on the other side. And I don't want to go there because I don't know what's there. So rather just stay at home in your bed. And that's what I'm struggling with now because my life needs to move on, but it's not moving on. Like even the whole school thing. School's great. I'm technically enjoying it. I love what I'm doing. But I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid of being a struggling artist.
Which you won't be, but go on, girl.
Whatever. But like just things like that, dude. Also, I don't know. Like I'm not the first in my family. Like my brother and I are the first musicians in the family. he's doing it, I guess, yeah. But I'm the first one to go and study classical. Literally everyone in my family did like law, my father, my mother, my grandfather, whatever. And now I'm here and I'm doing this. I have no one to like say, oh, but ban why and wapop and if ban we won. You know what I mean? So that's why I think also I didn't do music to begin with. And then I'm doing it now and I want to stop now also. So I'm just gone. And I don't know how I'm gonna come back. And I'm not planning on coming back. That's the thing also. It's ugly. I don't know what to say to you. Yeah, I'm done.
Sissy?
Me, ne?
Oh. Sure, guys. I'm really just trying to shake off the last 12 months of my life because they've been really, really, really hard. So I lost my dream job. I was doing something that I really liked and I was learning so much, and you know, I had a great boss, and that just is a story for another day. So that killed me. I was out of work for about 7 months. So and how I view it, that was like a once in a lifetime opportunity. You know, it's never gonna come again, or might never come again. And I would stay in bed for days, like just be in bed for days, beating myself up and thinking, what could I have done differently? Should I have fought? Should I have, like, you know, what could I have done? And with me, like, as you guys know, I've been taking care of myself since I was 17. So literally just paying my own way. I've been working since I was 17. I've been taking care of my brother. And then when my mother passed, I just took over the role. I now take care of my entire family, literally. So it was very, very hard, just adjusting to the new normal or the new reality of my life. And, you know, a lot of things happened in the last 12 months. Just trying to get myself out of depression or not go back to that position that I was in. Not go back to hospital. So just trying to, you know, keep things together. And for me, it's very hard because a lot of my friends are much older than I am. So they have cars, they own houses, you know, they're doing really, really well at work. And you compare yourself to those people because you hang around with them constantly, and you feel like your life is not going anywhere and it's not moving and nothing's happening. So yeah, how do I deal with it? So I think I also suffer from like procrastination, and it really started with me because I was really working so hard before, and I would be like, okay, I'm going to sleep the whole weekend and I'm not going to do anything just to recuperate. And now I think I'm just so lenient on myself. It's bordering on lazy. So I beat myself up a lot for that. And it's just how I'm viewing things now is that I'm just hitting the reset button and I'm starting things afresh and I'm moving forward. And yeah, I'm grateful for that opportunity because I understand a lot of people don't get that opportunity. They don't get to start over again. They don't get to do something else. They don't get that opportunity. So for me, I'm extremely grateful for it. So yeah.
Please let us know what you think. Comment, talk to us on the timeline or in the comments about how you progress through your failures and how you deal day to day. And yeah. Keep growing, keep shining, and keep watching WeTheNet.
The owners of YouTube don't own YouTube. We do, bitch.